YouTube? It is Repulse back another video. In today's video, we have another Chelsea news video. Obviously, we had a here we go yesterday. We have another here we go today. It's not the player that we all hoped for, but it is an outgoing. It's a very important loan deal. But yeah, back-to-back days with here we goes. Decent amount of Chelsea news to get into, so let's just begin. Starting off with Alejandro Garnacho and Xavi Simons. Fabrizio Romano on his latest YouTube video, which was just recently posted, that said that Simons and Garnacho are separate topics, basically saying we could get both, we could get none, we could get one. It's not either, it's both. Chelsea want both players. Let's see what happens. I'm not the one taking care of talks, so let's wait. Chelsea are working on both deals. The only thing I'm a little confused about is the fact that, obviously we said we were going in for Garnacho in August, most likely, later in the window, when everything is pretty much supposed to be set in stone. We know our squad, and then if there's any opportunities that arise, then we will, go in on those opportunities, and they see Garnacho as an opportunity. So I'm a little confused on how we're working on that deal, if it's not supposed to be something that's pushed down for later in the window, but obviously you can contact the agents, try to find, personal terms and stuff like that, so I can understand that part of it. But on Xavi Simons, we know we're working on the deal, we're working on personal terms as well. There's a brief outline, I don't know if they're fully agreed, but yeah, it'll be intriguing to see, whether or not Xavi Simons will become a Chelsea player this window, because it seems to be dragging out a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is just normal negotiation. I know Chelsea fans are getting a little anxious, but this is normal negotiation. It's just Chelsea usually do their business a lot quicker than this, so it's causing a little panic within the fan base. Obviously, we did João Pedro in 2 days, but we did Gittins in the span of like 4 weeks or so. So, there's a lot to go into these deals, especially with Xavi Simons, because we do have to negotiate with PSG as well as Leipzig at the same time, because Leipzig do have a sell-on clause to PSG. So we really have to satisfy all three parties. But yeah, it seems like we might be in for both, so we could probably see both become Chelsea players, because I do expect Simons to come through the door as well as Garnacho. So yeah, intrigued to see how these deals develop. But yeah, I think it's either both or it's either none. I don't know if we miss out on Simons, we go in for Garnacho, or if we miss out on Garnacho, we go for Simons. I don't think that's the case. I think it's, we go in for both. We might not get both. We might get just one. We might get none, but they are separate topics, so we will go in for both simultaneously. But moving on to solely Alejandro Garnacho, Matt Law said that Chelsea are expected to place an offer for Garnacho before the end of the window. They have done complete background checks and have no concerns over his character. I don't know about that. He's not the best personality, so that's why I'm a little confused about the background checks thing. Obviously, hasn't done anything bad, hasn't, gone to jail or anything like that. He's a completely fine person, but it's just his personality. I don't know. It seems like he's a little egotistical for my liking. That's what I talk about when I say he has a lot of baggage that comes with him. I do think, he comes with a demand instead of a want. He's not going to really work for anything. He's going to demand to have it. Maybe that changes with the change of scenery. Maybe he just feels like he deserves that at Manchester United, but maybe he doesn't feel like he deserves that at Chelsea. So maybe we could see a switch in personality for Garnacho when he does come over here, but it's bound to be seen. But I mean, with talks with his agent, I guess Chelsea will understand that, and then go from there and see if it's a deal worth completing. But more, Fabrizio said that Chelsea are very convinced on Garnacho as an opportunity. His name is mentioned internally every single day. It's going to be about the price tag. I keep telling you about Garnacho and Chelsea, basically saying this deal is going to happen. It's an opportunity that will arise, but the deal only happens if the price tag is correct. We know Chelsea wants to pay 30. Manchester United are probably going to hang out for around 45, 40. So it's really between the clubs to find an agreement, but I do anticipate Chelsea being able to have their way, because it doesn't seem like Garnacho has too many suitors. So the later in the window it drags out, and the less teams that come in for Garnacho, the more Chelsea are going to have a leg to stand on in negotiations. So I do kind of fully expect Garnacho to become a Chelsea player at this point. It's just what the price tag will be, and I expect that price tag to be around the 30 million mark that we're holding out for him, because I do think that's a good opportunity, especially for a bench player. I do think he's talented enough to warrant a 30 million pound price tag. Is just the personality again, but I think that's something that could be fixed up if Maresca does put his arm around his shoulder and just tell it and say it to him straight, which Maresca is very good at doing, just being straight up honest. So my head's a little turned around on the Garnacho deal, because I thought it would be a lot more expensive than it actually will end up being. But if he comes through the door, then I expect it to be around 30 plus 5 at most. So yeah, I think we could see Garnacho become a Chelsea player sometime later in the window. But um, again, it is about the price tag and how much Manchester United are truly holding out for. But I expect them to budge, especially if there are no suitors for Garnacho, which it doesn't seem like at this point, besides Chelsea. Um, but moving on to Xavi Simons, in this same article, Matt Law said that Chelsea are yet to place an official bid for Xavi Simons, but there's optimism a deal can be clinched. Leipzig are interested in Broja, George, and Chukwuemeka. Um, Obviously, we know that Chukwuemeka interest is long-standing, but it's yet to be seen if Chukwuemeka wants to go there or if he just wants to hold out for a Borussia Dortmund deal, which seems like the way he's leaning towards right now. I think Broja could be interesting. Obviously, Leipzig are most likely losing Šeško to Manchester United, and I think Broja could do well in the Bundesliga and find a role there. Probably be that second striker to Luis Openda at that club, so maybe that's an intriguing deal. Tyreek George I expect to go out on loan, so I don't know about that one. Could definitely see something develop there. Maybe they purchase him, we have a buyback or something like that, but I expect Tyreek George to fully stay, or go out on loan and still be under our umbrella. Chukwuemeka is the one that confuses me just a little bit because I just don't know where the player's priority stands. I don't know if he just wants to move at the club entirely or if he just wants to hold out for Borussia Dortmund, as I just said. So I think it's down between Broja and Chukwuemeka to see if Leipzig do want to come in for either of them. But at the same time, I think Leipzig are just going to hold out for money, and I do anticipate Chelsea being willing to pay for a player like Xavi Simons. It's just conversations are ongoing. No bids placed because the relationship's good. So yeah, that's that on Xavi Simons. There is one. Okay, my recording accidentally paused, but we are back. Basically, this is from Fabrizio's video. I didn't realize that I accidentally paused it. This was from Fabrizio's video that just was posted a couple of minutes ago. He said that Xavi Simons' conversations remain ongoing. It's a work in progress. Also on the contract, it's important for Chelsea to sell players to create some space and then try to complete the situation and deal for Simons. Yeah, it seems like we need outgoings for him to come through the door, which I don't know if that's entirely true because, João Felix did just leave, so I think we could ramp up the deal on Xavi Simons, but, maybe Vega leaves, maybe Nkunku leaves, and then it makes it a lot easier to just pay up the price tag that Leipzig want. But yeah, conversations remain ongoing. Obviously, it's a very good relationship between the clubs, so, I don't expect there to be a bid until, pretty much the conversations say, hey, we had agreed this fee, hey, we all agreed to pay this fee, and then obviously it'll be submitted, most likely accepted, and Xavi Simons will become a Chelsea player. But yeah, we need to work on personal terms as well. Obviously, there's a brief outline on his contract, but probably need the fine details tuned, and then that will finally be agreed upon. But yeah, we need to sell players, obviously, just to create space for him to come through the door, and then try to complete the situation and deal. Basically means, once those players leave, then we'll go full force and just pay whatever Leipzig want because we will have the money to do so. But in the meantime, we're going to hold out for the fee that we want. But I don't think it's completely reliant on Chelsea to sell players for Xavi Simons to come through the door. I think it's just, it'd really help enhance the deal if they do end up leaving. So yeah, that is that on Xavi Simons. It seems like the deal is still currently advancing and conversations will stay taking place, and we'll see if there's any advancements in the coming days. If it allows me to. Moving on to Hato. We know we got the here we go yesterday. Bobby Vincent said a £37 million deal, because obviously there was not a fee reported by the time I posted the YouTube video yesterday, so that's the amount we're spending. We're spending £37 million, which is around 43.5 million euros. And he has been given permission to travel to London to undergo a medical and finalize his move. He's set to sign a 7-year deal with an option to extend to an 8-year deal. But yeah, £37 million seems to be the rough estimate of how much we're paying for Hato. And he is about to undergo his medical and sign a contract at Chelsea to become an official Chelsea player. So we can expect that announcement in the coming days, and I think everyone is excited for this player to come through the door. Obviously, a backup to Cucurella and someone who can play center half as well. So yeah, we will see the development of Hato at Chelsea and see what type of player he matures into, but glad to have him in, glad to have him as a backup to Cucurella to, let him rest his legs, as well as someone that is going to be a level at both positions in the back line. So yeah, we will see how he develops at Chelsea, but you can expect him to be announced in the coming days, probably Friday. Actually, no, probably Saturday, excuse me, for Hato's official announcement. But John Innan said again, this is the appropriate transfer fee in euros. He said that Ajax have reached an agreement with Chelsea tonight regarding the transfer of Hato. Top talent is making the move to the top club from London for 43.5 million euros, plus a few million in bonuses. So yeah, I think that equates to 37.5 million, or 37, somewhere around there. Basically, transfer fee here and transfer fee here are the same. It's just euros to pounds, but yeah, that's how much the Jurel Hato deal cost. He is about to become a Chelsea player. He's been given permission by Ajax to travel to London. So yeah, could see him being announced in the coming days, and I think again everyone is pretty excited for Jurel Hato to be announced. We're now just anticipating that video coming out. And yeah, if I guess we're going for a double Dutch. It's just this one happened a lot quicker than the Xavi Siemens deal did. But 43.5 million euros out to João Hato, even though we just made that for João Felix. So actually, we just made more for João Felix. So fair enough. But yeah, moving on to the second. Here we go in 2 days. Sunderland agreed a deal to sign Mark Guiu on loan for Chelsea. Here we go. Deal in place for a straight loan. There's no buy option clause as Guiu remains part of Chelsea long-term plans. Salary is covered by Sunderland as he will be an important striker for Liberty's plans. I talked about this deal yesterday. Obviously, there was an exclusive that Sunderland were looking to sign Mark Guiu on loan. I'm not the biggest fan of it because I don't know how many chances he'll get a game or how much game opportunity he will get, but if he does get a lot of games, then I can expect it to be a very good loan for his development, and I'm really happy to see him go out on loan in the Premier League. But it's just how many chances he'll get, how much game time he'll get. It's a question to be seen. But if he's an important striker, then we could expect Sunderland to be playing him a decent amount because I bet there's playing time assurances in the loan deal and stuff like that. So Mark Guiu goes out on loan to a championship, or not a championship, a now Premier League side that was in the championship last season. So, we can track his development there, see how many times he plays for Sunderland this season, and see how well he performs in the Premier League. Hopefully, getting a decent amount of minutes in the league. For a team that has been making a lot of deals this summer, might look actually good into the Premier League. It might be able to stay up. We'll definitely track that. I'll make my Premier League prediction video sometime soon. But yeah, Mark Guiu is headed out to loan. I just hope he gets the playing time and the chances that he deserves there. But I do think it is a good loan for him. I think he could help them stay up. I think he's a good enough player to do that. So yeah, we will see his development there, see how much he truly plays and how much he contributes to Sunderland's success next season. And then lastly, another loan deal. Kendry Páez, we knew he was headed out to Strasbourg, but it's been officially announced by Chelsea he is headed out to Strasbourg on loan. So that completes the international loans off to Strasbourg. Obviously, we have Mamadou Sarr headed up there. We have Mike Penners, and now we have Kendry Páez. So that is all three completed, and that is the last talking point of this video. Kendry Páez heading out on loan, the Wonder Kid. About to join up for Strasbourg's upcoming Liga season as well as their Conference League push. So yeah, if y'all did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for the support on the recent videos. We just hit 200 subs, so thank y'all so much for that. Big milestone, and just gonna continue to push forward. So yeah, thank y'all so much for that. And as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.